Everybody see that now?
Yeah, we can see it.
Awesome. I'm just gonna look through this. So most of you know myself and our team, but as Pete mentioned, I've been around for a while. Moved to Kelowna 15 years ago. Was with another small credit union that pretty well most of you probably wouldn't know. They're not around anymore. And then jumped over to Valley First and ran their broker division for a decade. And then brokered for 4 years, and then joined 3 Point in the fall of 19 to help grow our business out east. So the team here on the screen is the team that you deal with when submitting applications to us. Brad Graham's our Chief Credit Officer. He's the one with the approval sticker, as well as Kate and Tanya will assist him on underwriting, with Lorinda bringing up the rear and making sure that all the docs are in, the deal gets over to the lawyer. She provides all of that updates along the way to you when you're dealing with us. So it's quite nice. Once you've got notification the deal's been received, you'll end up being in communication with Brad, Tanya, or Kate. And then once the deal is done, the girls and Brad, he's a girl too, hands it over to Lorinda, and then she takes it across the finish line, and you get an update when the deal's been instructed, etc., on that file as well. Well, a little bit of in and out for us.
I like your transitions. This is really nice, Loren.
Yes, thank you. This should have been prior to, but I'll skip back to it. So lending for us, we are a residential lender only. We look at first and second mortgages, whether it's owner occupied, second home, revenue or getaway, like a rec property, just depending on where it is, and then obviously revenue properties. Title can be held in in principal name or a corporate structure along with personal guarantees on that. Our fund has a maximum loan to value of 75. We cannot exceed that. That is in our OM to our investors. So not that we wouldn't want to make an exception here or there, we just don't have the ability to make an exception. Currently right now, one of the changes that would come into play from the end of last year is our 75 LTV. We are only using that for purchases, and we've reduced our refinances up to 70% loan to value for a solid deal and purchases of a condo or an apartment. So prior to good old COVID and some changes last year, our maximum loan to value on refis was 75 as well. But due to the current conditions and what's going on, we have reduced that. So that is a change from last fall. Second mortgages as well. Right now, we are looking at them on a case by case. So if you've got a second mortgage, best thing to do is either call myself or into someone in the underwriting side to talk to them about what the second mortgage is about, to see if we're able to take that on currently. One question I get all the time is, what's our maximum mortgage amount? Last fall, we made some changes, brought in our maximum amount to 1.25. That's available up to 65% loan to value. And our maximum prior to that was $1 million, which we still have at the 75 mark. Now, when it comes to total connection, so when we're looking at a single property, or if we're looking at an inter alia, our max exposure to an individual borrower or to an application at 65 is 1.75 million. And at 75, it's 1.5 million. So if they've got existing dealings with us already, we've got to take that into consideration. So the full exposure to an individual or a group on a deal are those maximums. Because we're private, we do not GDS, TDS, so we don't look at servicing. When it comes to sort of qualifying, what we want to know is we want to know we have a good understanding that the people can make a payment, have the ability to make a payment. Payment options for us, you can amortize or have an interest only. Typically, interest only we'll look at up to 65, maybe a 70 mark, unless you sort of note that in the file that you're actually looking for an interest. We will amortize a first mortgage over a 30-year AM. Pays it down a little bit on that, and most clients like that option as well. Something new that we brought out at the beginning of the year were the introduction of a 2 and 3 year term. I'll touch base on that in a little bit. I mentioned before, we can have financing in a corporate structure with the personal guarantee. One thing that we do also offer in BC only is our construction. Construction for us is 65% loan to value on the end appraised value, not the cost of the land acquisition and the build. So if the land acquisition and the build cost 700, but the end result came in at 900, we would lend the 65% on 900. Our maximum mortgage in construction is $1 million. And one thing to know with us is there is no standby fee. This has been coming up time and time again recently with inquiries on, well, will you guys match this rate on the construction side? Our rate is 8.25 and a 2% lender fee. Brokers are on the own for setting their own fee like they are with any deal with us. But one thing when it comes to inquiring about a construction, I always ask, yeah, the rate may be a tad higher or a tad lower with someone else, but look into the standby fee. So what that means is when we charge interest, it's on the amount that's been drawn down. So when we do a construction, we would hedge that $900,000, say, and we would, as it's drawn down, we charge the interest on that. That remaining money, let's say we've drawn $200,000 for the lot, that's $700,000. We don't charge for that money to sit there while the build goes on. There are a lot of lenders in our space that charge what they call a standby fee, and that can range anywhere from 4 to 6%. So when you're factoring in what the overall cost to your client is on a construction with us, it's a lot cheaper than dealing with a lender that has a standby fee. So it's just something to keep in mind. If somebody wants more details, please don't hesitate to reach out to me on that. I'd be glad to go over the rest of the program.
Loren, just a couple of questions.
Yes.
So your 65% is based on the appraised completed value.
That's correct. That's
okay.
Big difference. So it works out to, depends on the scenario, works out to about a 75 to 80% loan to value on cost.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you guys require new home warranty?
We do, yes.
No exemptions?
No exemptions.
Okay. And by that, I mean like an owner build who's a contractor without new home warranty.
Yeah, it has to have new home warranty. No.
Gotcha.
So to Pete's, to embellish a little bit on what Pete was saying, a homeowner can go to a new home warranty provider and apply as a non-builder. They're not a registered builder, but they may do it on the side. They have experience building it. So what they do is they get an exemption from being a registered builder. Some lenders will accept that and waive a new home warranty. We'll accept that, but we do require a new home warranty. So whether it's an owner occupied with experience or a builder, a registered builder is building it, we still need that new home warranty piece.
Like in terms of construction, I think that's the fact that you don't have a standby fee it would be an interesting calculation, but I think it probably works out to be better because most lenders at this point are about 8% plus the standby fee. So eight and a quarter without a standby is probably a good deal.
Yeah, the last one, the rate the broker came to me was like 7.95, and it was a 5% lender standby fee. So, you know, a lot of the times, depending on how quickly the build progresses, that money standing by is sitting there and accruing a larger payment per month than the actual money that's been drawn down. So, got to do a bit of calculation when it comes to that. But really easy. If you want to deal with on a first and our LTV just doesn't quite get you what you need, we do allow seconds behind us. So that's not an option. If you are needing a larger LTV and you've already got a second lined up, please just let us know in the notes when you're submitting to us. And one big piece that we've really had to make notice as of late is submitting broker must be licensed in the province where the property is located. Now we are lending in BC, Alberta, Manitoba, and Ontario. For today, I've just brought to the forefront where we lend in BC. If you're licensed in any of the other provinces, again, please reach out. I'd be more than happy to share similar slide in the other provinces. Unless you, and if you're not licensed in one of those provinces, you do remember have access to Plan B or the deal desk with the DLC group of companies to be able to submit in another province and sort of still have a bit of control on a file without having to co-broker to an agent in that province. So it's something to keep in mind. Lending areas, obviously, there's a fairly detailed list of where we'll look. If it's outside of one of these areas, best thing to do is just say, hey, Loren, I've got this property, send me a link to an MLS or just an address. I can Google Earth or have a look at that way. And we'll look at whether or not we'll entertain that deal. In some cases, if it's not too far outside of one of these areas, we may say, yeah, we'll look at it, but we're going to reduce the loan to value on it. We just had one today out in Ontario. It was a little outside of where we would normally look in Ottawa. We just reduced the loan to value and it worked for the client. So,
so Loren,
yeah.
Do you guys lend in the city that you're based out of? Because there's no Kelowna on that list.
There's no Kelowna. Oh, look at
Yes.
that. They've taken it out, or I accidentally did it when I was doing this slide today. Yes, of course we lend in Kelowna. No, just West Kelowna. We don't want this. We don't want.
It says West Kelowna in the third aisle.
Yeah, it does. I've got it kind of broken down into Vancouver, the island, and the Okanagan. So thanks.
Regular Kelowna is no good though anymore.
No good anymore. No good. Too much construction. You know, driving values out. So any questions on that? We'll have that slide up. Okay, gone. So one thing for us is our niche is really our U drive. This is where we've always picked up steam, and in the changing landscape that we've been in for the last 24 months, and especially with COVID, the ability for you to have that discussion with your client and pick a rate and fee that best suits their situation is really key. It just gives you that extra level of what's really important to your client. Is it just getting the deal done? Is it a cash flow piece? Obviously cash flow, then somebody's going to probably lean towards a lower rate and pay a fee. And if it's getting the deal done, probably the best interest, especially if a client in a first is going to hold a file out more than 3 months, our no fee option is a great way to do that. So as you can see on the slide here, the three options, obviously the fee option and the no fee, and the fee option fully open from day in advance. And on a 1 year term, our no fee option has a 3-month closed window where we've got to earn 3 months of interest. So if something happened in life happened and a client took a no fee and had to pay us out, after 2 months, the penalty to get out would be a 1 month interest piece. As I'd mentioned earlier, we introduced a 2 and a 3 year option. At the bottom there, you can see a 2 year is our option 3 with a quarter point. So when I mean option 3, it's our no lender fee option. So if you came to us and say, listen, clients just became self-employed, I know I'm not going to be able to get them anywhere for a couple of years, let's go with the 2 year term. We only offer one rate at that point. It's our no fee. So if it's at 65 on a 2 year term, they look at 6.95, a no lender fee. Sorry, they wouldn't be 6.95, it'd be a quarter point on that. So it'd be 7.2. And they'd be fully open after 6 months. So it's still a really good option to give clients some full flexibility. And on the 3 year, it'd be the same tier, the no fee. It's a half point rate increase and locked in for 12 months. So again, a really good option to give your client a peace of mind if they know they're going to be out past that year. Really look at those other term options, because might just be in the best bet for your client at that point.
Loren, the U-Drive rates, they don't apply to construction, do they?
No, they don't. No. Our construction is the 8.25 and a 2-point lender fee. So with all these, we do make it clear that these are our lender fees. We do not split fees. You guys are able to charge whatever you want on a file. You just let us know when submitting what your fee is going to be, and we build that into the commitment. Second mortgages, we offer just the one rate, so up to 65 right now on a refi, 9.25 and a 1-point lender fee. Both of those are fully open on that. When it comes to renewals, I say we're one of the better ones out there for transparency. Our renewal process is laid out in our commitment. For those of you who have dealt with us, you'll see it. It's right there in the middle of the first page. Our second page, it'll require client to initial it. So it really gives the client a peace of mind. If they got to renew after that year term, they know exactly what's going to happen should they be in good standing, make their payments, etc. with us, that they'll get that renewal fee. Renewal rate is always our no fee rate, and we only charge a quarter point on the renewal fee. Process is really easy, usually 6 months or 6 months out, a couple months out. So we start the review process, and you can be involved in the process. That's up to you whether you want to reach out if you're keeping track of your renewals with us, and be included in that. We do not comp on a renewal. It's just a matter of how you guys manage your own book of business. Any questions on that? One of the things that we sort of pride ourselves on submission is a minimalistic amount of documents for a pretty straightforward file. For us now, with all the changes that came into play in September, we've got to receive all of our deals through one of our platform partners, whether it's Expert, Velocity, or Finmo. I know both Velocity and Finmo will have those ability for you to be able to upload your documents and us to receive them as well. For the time being, any additional documents, supporting documents, can be sent to us at our team email at the udrive@3pointcapital.ca. That goes to the full team that you saw in the slide, all 5 of us. So there's no ever need to CC anybody. We all get that those emails that are sent in there. And then follow-up documents. If it's a refinance, obviously it's going to be your submission, and then you'll follow that up with a appraisal and confirmation that CRA is current. If they're an employee and there's no other outside income, typically a verbal is fine with us. Otherwise, we may ask for the latest NOA or just a statement of account off of the CRA platform. When it comes to a a purchase, obviously we would need a down payment. We don't require a 90-day history, just a purchase agreement with full addendums. If a down payment is coming from a previous sale, obviously we need that full contract and a copy of their latest mortgage statement. Typically, the best thing to do is when you're submitting, if you've already got your client's solicitor or notary information, provide that. And if you know what you're going to charge your client on a fee, provide that in your notes. Those are just two pieces that we don't have to bug you for. Otherwise, when you receive notification that we're going to do the deal for you, we'll just ask for that at that time as well. So the way it comes is when the deal comes in, we receive it through the submission platform. One of our underwriters will review the document. They'll connect with you initially by an email saying, we've received the deal, we're willing to proceed. Here are your options. Just let us know if there's any documents that we would need at that time. We'll note that. And then what we do is ask you for what option your client is looking for. So then we have an idea so we can create the commitment and then send that out to you all done up with the appropriate setup for you on that. 5 deals that we kind of look at on a file, and really these apply to any lender that you deal with, whether it's A, B, or C space. Obviously for us, the story, the key thing is the story. Why are they coming to a MIC or a private lender? Let us know what the funds are for. It doesn't matter whether it's a payoff CRA, to buy an ex-spouse out, to buy a property, whatever it may be. Let us know what that the funds are going to be used for. 2 big key things for us though are the property. If it's a refinance and you're providing a value, let us know. Was that given to you by the client? Was that your own due diligence in talking to a realtor, or you've already known that you're going to get an appraiser? You just reached out for a heads up on a valuation. Just kind of let us know that. And then the big thing for us too is the exit strategy. What's going to happen in a year's time, or how are you going to pay us out? How are we going to be paid out? And if it's going to be longer than that year, saying this, and there's a good chance that we could be looking at a renewal, or saying this is why we're taking the 2-year, because we know we're working with the clients right now. We know it's going to be another 15 or 16 months before they're cleaned out. That's why we're looking at that 2-year, and we've already spoken to that next lender, knowing that we're going to get that payout. Also, when it comes to term, not only offering 1, 2, and 3, if we're going to be doing a second for you, and you've got your first with your favorite lender in first position, and you need a 15, 16, 17-month term, we can also just match that term. So optically for the client, their first renews, in April 15th, and their second renews in April 15th. So it just gives them that peace of mind. There's not a differentiation in the dates on that. Something that we can definitely do. Just let us know on the submission. And then lastly, I just kind of wanted to provide a couple of details on a few deals that we've recently done in the Okanagan here. I know we do send out this usually on a monthly basis, kind of give you an idea, but I thought for those of you who may not have opened that last email from us, just to kind of give you an idea. 75% first in Peachland. There was a purchase of a new home from funds of an existing. Some of the funds were to pay down some debt as well. We did an inter alia first, second, Penticton Salmon Arm properties. That was just allowed a retiree to gain access to his new forever home and prepare the existing property for sale. Large first here in Kelowna. That was to pay out an existing private. One thing, if you're coming to us to pay out a private, whether we're doing a new first or we're taking out an existing second, It's obviously not our favorite thing to do. However, if there's a good reason, in this case, it was the borrower was solid. The broker that we were dealing with on this particular file was a new broker to the agent. The previous broker didn't do the client justice, placed them with a very high first. And again, that's what was happening at renewal. It was a large renewal fee and a much higher rate as well. So we were replacing that with a lower rate and fee to the client. And then lastly here, I showed just a second on here. This was an ETO after a divorce, some debt cleanup. Obviously, the spouse wasn't paying some debt, and they just wanted to clean this out. And they took a second mortgage and already let us know that will be paid out naturally after the end of the first year. So just a couple of examples of things that we've done recently around our neck of the woods. So that's it as far as what I wanted to sort of just show and recap and kind of bring you up to date on a couple of changes that we've made during COVID. But one of the big things that's kind of come up recently has been obviously with the market increase in housing prices quite substantially around our province. It's really thrown a wrench into appraisers finding enough comps to comp out a purchase versus what the history has been. We just had one this morning. The purchase was 364. The appraisal, was 364. The sale finally went through after multiple bids at 440, 445. And the appraiser couldn't make it work on a 440. So I know for us, we're always the lesser of purchase price or appraised value. So something to kind of keep in mind of, when a client gets into a situation where they could be in a bidding war, it could be very difficult for your appraiser partner to match that purchase price to an appraised value, and therefore forcing your client to possibly having to come up with additional funds. So that's just a little tidbit I wanted to let you know that what we're seeing lately, and I'll open it to any questions you guys have.
The awkward silence.
I see there's a lot of questions in here.
I think we answered a lot of those during,
yeah.
Except for Dave's question about having enough booze in Kelowna.
Well, I don't know, Dave. I've got a couple good bottles of red in the fridge right now. Deb, I see
reds go in fridge. I didn't think reds go in fridge.
Yeah, if you're storing it.
Oh, let's see what I know.
You just increase you just store it at a higher temp. There you go. Kootenays, small areas. We are not down in the Kootenays. Smaller areas like the Kootenays, we typically refer off to Kokanee. They are a small town specialist there. Construction, you get a choice. All right. Dave, I'm at the office. I don't have my fridge here. So anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me directly, and I can answer anything on a one-on-one if you don't like answering questions or asking questions in this format. That is fine. I appreciate you guys taking some time out of your afternoon to have me today. So I appreciate that.
Kelly has a question.
Okay.
Just regarding, I'm very new. So just obviously especially in the private sector, I noticed it was just saying no GDS or TDS requirements. And also in terms of credit beacon score, is there any sort of requirements that you guys?
Typically for us, we want to see stuff over 600.
Okay.
But we don't have a hard fast rule. Like we've done stuff, you know, in the high 4s, but there's been a good reason to what's happened
Right.
on that. Always, if you're unsure, the best thing to do is A, pick up the phone and just ask before submitting, or B, just provide the story. What happened? What got them there? The information like that makes it a lot easier for us to adjudicate a file and have that background rather than guessing a straight no or coming back to you, you know, with a million questions on that. And in some cases, that's just the flow of that particular file. But if you can provide details with regards to that type of stuff, it just helps the process on that. But typically for us, we'd like to see over 600. But like I said, we've done lower.
Thanks, Loren.
You're welcome.
Hey, Lauren, if you're paying out CRA, do you have a limit on how much they owe CRA?
I haven't seen one. The largest I've seen has been about 140,000. So we just did recently one, I think it was 60, 65. Again, just let us know what happened.
Okay. And did our broker Will reach out to you about a construction mortgage?
I haven't seen anything unless he went to phone Cater Tanya directly, but no.
Okay. All right, I'll message him because he was looking for one.
Okay. Yeah, especially right now, construction, we're on a big run of it. So we are pushing the ceiling of our cap on our portfolio of it. So if you've got something you think it's going to be a fit for us, please reach out before submitting, just to make sure we have